Liz, how are you?
Good.
Good. It's good to see you. Yeah. Again, your binge record this week is the last week as well as kind of squeaky clean. So, how's that been feeling?
Feels really good.
Oh, I'm sure it does. It really does. Yeah, it's been really a process. So that's fantastic. Tell me about what's been going on this week.
I had a good conversation with my mom.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so it feels good.
Tell me about it.
So I just talked with her on the phone, and yeah, it just went really well. And we actually, after that, we planned a Skype meeting. So we had a Skype meeting last night, I guess it was. And yeah, caught up a little bit and kind of talked about some things. And
great.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, nice. I'm happy to hear about that. And then I don't remember. I'm trying to think from last time. Any Alan updates or yeah.
Still seeing Alan.
Oh, nice. Things going okay? Good. Well, I'm happy to hear that. And then I guess the other thing that I wanted to talk with you about. I know that we kind of had mentioned it briefly, but today kind of marks the kind of beginning of that kind of final phase for us. So then over the next 3 sessions, we're going to be starting to kind of wrap up our work together. And I've been feeling that way too, because it's hard to want to bring that up, because it's been really just great working with you, and so I really don't want to see that come to an end. But I thought one of the things that's really important is maybe just to get us starting to talk about, and again, we don't have to do it all today, but just at least get us starting to talk about some of the changes that you've made, things that have gone really well for you, and really maybe kind of recap how it is that you've gone from almost binging daily to almost now you're not at all, and kind of maybe we can kind of talk about how that's gone. Because I think the other thing that's really important is not only the things that you've done in terms of how things have gotten better for you, but I also want us to start thinking about too, okay, what's going to happen when we kind of get to the end of our work together and beyond. So in terms of how you'll kind of keep the work going. So yeah, I kind of thought, I feel like I'm kind of being like a wet blanket here. You've had a really great week, and now I'm bringing up, our kind of departure. But I think it's really important to kind of mark that transition, and also to mark it too by having, things go so well. I think it's really important. So, and I guess the first thing I want to talk about is, I guess I'm pointing my pad of paper because it's so filled with just all the different things that have occurred for you, over the last several weeks. And I think the first thing that's really notable to me is I really have appreciated your willingness to engage your mom, because I know that that's been so hard for you, and that it's been so painful, the way that she's treated you in the past. But that, I guess I'm even getting kind of emotional talking about it, because it's just been so rich, the transition you've made in terms of the way you've engaged her in a more genuine way and allowed her kind of back into your life. And it seems like that's been, really vital to your, getting better. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what's, in terms of from your perspective, kind of what's that been like for you, kind of emotionally?
And it feels good. It's nice not butting heads with her, because
yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, I want a good relationship with my mom. I don't choose purposefully to not have a good relationship with her.
Right.
Yeah, it feels really good.
Nice.
And I feel like I can have better relationships other places as well now, because that's healthier.
Right. Well, and also too, I think along with that is that kind of the strategies I think that you've, my hunch would be is that some of the strategies that you've used to engage your mom in a more meaningful way have really kind of come in handy in some respects in terms of some of the other relationships that you've had, especially I know that you and Kathy have gotten a lot closer, and even the fact that you've allowed yourself to kind of, connect with somebody else, with Alan, and, I know that you were talking with me the other day about some other friends that you've, met and people that you've really gotten a little bit closer to. So that's been really exciting. Yeah.
Feels good to not go home and feel terrible.
Right. Yeah. So then kind of from your perspective, again, we'll talk more about this. I mean, I realize I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but as you've kind of have thought about it or thinking about it, and maybe you can think about it too, even from now into the next couple of sessions, but just starting to think about like, what is it that you've really done that you really feel like that's really helped you make changes in the way in which you've, managed your food or your binge eating?
I mean, just really trying to be more positive within my relationships and being more open and communicating, not keeping things in. So I feel like when I kept things in, it kind of boiled up, and that's what made me want to
You kind of stuff
use
it down.
something that made me feel better.
Right.
And not, I mean, like, if something bothers me, to like immediately express it instead of holding it in.
Right. No, I've noticed that as well, and it seems like that's been one of the important things that you've done. It's really helped, with the changes that you've made. What else feels like that? I mean, obviously that's been really important, but what are the other things that you've noticed in terms of like, how it's been going?
I think I feel better about myself, and like not having comments from my mom anymore, and having a guy in my life who really likes how I look, and feeling happier with myself, and grades are good.
Yeah, no, things like we're really in a good space. And I think the other thing too I was aware of that that you had mentioned to me in particular last time was that, and I didn't get a chance really to talk with you as much about it because I think we had so much to talk about last session, but I was really struck by the fact that you, it seems like you haven't been as body conscious as you have been in the past. And I didn't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah, no, I feel like I've like a little bit noticed it. Yeah, especially that you bring it up. Yeah. It's true.
Right. Yeah. Because I know like initially, and even like there have been times even along the way when you'll make like, I didn't feel like it looked very good, or I felt like something felt really tight on me, or, I just felt like that other people were looking at me or maybe judging me. But it seems like that as we've kind of moved along, that I've really noticed a real kind of a little bit of a shift in the way in which you've kind of been regarding yourself, and it seems like it's been a little bit different.
And not hearing like any comments at all from my mom about any of that stuff, or I feel like I've gotten to the point where I'm not concerned like that I'm going to hear a comment either.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make you talk about it anyway. But what did you do in order to be able to get those comments though to stop? Because obviously, I think you did something really significant with her.
Yes. I mean, I thought about what you said about really acknowledging that put a lot of pain on me and stress and weight. And I was able to let her know that. And it was hard. I was scared to tell her that, but I mean, she recognized that. Yeah. And she kind of explained how she thought that she was helping me, or she wanted me to have a lot of friends in high school, and that's she kind of said like her mom said the same thing to her. And,
Yeah. Well, and that's really not uncommon when you have, it's funny that just even like, not to, like be a big research head, but it seems like that's pretty consistent that, kind of like, mothers to daughters who become mothers to daughters, like sometimes it's kind of what we call this intergenerational transmission of like, kind of criticality about, shape and weight. And so I'm, really proud of you that you, kind of had the courage to address it with her directly and just let her know how you feel. Because, I think, as a parent, I know that it's like, I always want to try to do the right thing, and I always, I don't purposely want to try to, inflict pain on my children, even though my daughters would suggest that I probably do. But in general, that's not my goal, is to be, harsh and critical. In fact, I really always, try to really be helpful. And I think most parents try to do the right thing, but I think maybe your mom just didn't realize the degree to which that really bothered you and how much that hurt. And in many respects, how much that kind of really drove you to, really, take it out on yourself, so to speak. And so for you to have the courage to bring that up, I think was really helpful. Yeah. So I really think that made a lot of difference as well as, kind of reaching out to others and again, then just the open expression of your feelings. So, yeah. I think the things that we're doing like now, I think I'd really like to see us kind of continue to, obviously you still are doing a lot of really good work in terms of like the things that you're talking about. And but yet I am also aware that, as we're over the next couple sessions, we can kind of keep doing a few of these things, kind of wrapping up, and then our last session we can more or less kind of formally, say goodbye and talk about kind of like what the next steps are, and some things that you might want to be paying attention to, or things you might want to be mindful of. But we'll get there. So yeah, great.